Hey everybody, welcome back in the shed. I'm Troy, this is Dave.
Hello again, folks.
Today we're talking about the top 3 number songs. Now these are songs that either have number in the title or maybe is about a number or both, I guess. But before we get started, I want you to leave your picks below, see if they match ours. Also make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video.
All right, yeah, this is a topic that Troy came up with, and I gotta say it's gonna have to be one of our most deep and wide topics we've ever really attempted before, because there are really just hundreds or thousands of number songs out
there. A lot of numbers about number songs.
Yeah, there's many, but I think it's a good topic. So yeah, we're gonna talk about number songs.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what your picks are.
Likewise.
I tried to pick some songs that I've never, or bands that I've never talked about before. Maybe there's one that I have, but the other 2 are bands that I don't think I've ever talked about it. I could be wrong because I don't remember. I don't remember half the stuff we talk about.
Well,
until it's out there for the world to see.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I've got some, maybe all of them. I can't remember, but they're bands that we haven't covered before. So I think one of them we've covered before. But anyways, let's do our top 3 number songs.
All right, let's get rolling, man. What's your number 3?
Number 3 for me is going to be Tom Waits' Old 55.
I went lickety-splickly out to my old 55.
This is a song that Tom wrote in 1973, and it was released as a single on his debut album. The song refers to Tom Waits' beloved 1955 Buick Roadmaster.
Riding with Lady Love.
But Waits has been, kind of a cult favorite for many years, kind of due to his songwriting and his real gravelly delivery. But his songs have been covered by very famous musicians like Bruce Springsteen, Rod Stewart, and many others.
What I done to me, I done to you.
The Eagles actually covered that song on their, I guess it was 1974 album, On the Border.
Sun's coming up.
But, Tom's an iconoclast, and he's actually has been in several movies as an actor, as well as cut tons and tons of albums. But that's going to go down as my number 3, and I guarantee you it's not on Troy's list.
No, I don't like Tom Waits.
Really?
No, I can't stand his voice.
Well,
I think he's probably the worst singer of all in the world ever.
no, there's worse.
Well, I mean, I guess he can carry a tune, but that bucket's got a bunch of holes in it.
Well, he writes great songs, and he's just one of those guys that has a delivery that maybe isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I like Tom Waits.
He might be a great songwriter. I just don't like his voice. It
right.
doesn't really sit well with me. But
All right, fair enough.
fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Well, my number 3 is Tommy Two-Tone, 8675309.
Jenny, can I turn to?
I'm not surprised that one came up, and really, I saw it. I knew I was gonna. I was gonna skip it, but
Did you unpick my brain on that one?
big time. But I didn't know you were gonna pick it, to be honest. But yeah, it's definitely it's a classic song that everyone, when you get pulled over by the cops and they want your phone number,
That's what you give. Yeah. So it's a power pop masterpiece that was released in 1981 on Tommy Two-Tone's album called Tommy Two-Tone 2. I think it's what the album was called.
Yeah, I think so.
8, 6, 7, 5, 309.
And that song reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the mainstream rock charts, and was such a massive success back in the day that, of course, teenagers all over the United States, and I don't know, maybe not the world, but would call that number. So if you had that number back in the day, you probably got your number changed pretty quick.
For a good time, for a good time, call.
Well, I don't know. You had to put in an area code usually, but if it was a local call,
That's what's funny. When I first moved to Waco, one of the prefixes for around the Lacey Lakeview Bellmead area, and maybe it still is, I don't know, was 867. So, and we actually would call 867-5309 to somebody who lived here around Waco and annoyed the crap out of them, I'm sure.
was that the first time they ever got that call?
I doubt it. I don't remember what we said or what they said back, but I do remember back in the day, and this was way before cell phones, so we would pick up our phone and dial 867-5309.
And they'd answer.
And we'd go, is Jenny there?
If she's not, well, who am I going to turn to?
867-5309.
So yeah, I'm sure that number and the people who owned that number back in the day, it was a living hell for those people that own that number. I wonder if we could do it now. I wonder if we could call that number now and one who answers.
Let's dial.
I bet that number is not even a number anymore.
Yeah.
I bet they've got rid of that number altogether. They have to.
They had
I
to.
mean, it's got to be annoying as hell to get
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So anyway, that's
but it's a classic, and,
Yeah.
and like Troy was saying, I'm sure I dialed it at some point.
I'm sure everybody has who's ever heard that song. But
All right.
Anyway, and you could probably put that band down as a one-hit wonder for sure.
I think Tommy Two-Tone had a few hits.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, if they don't, I don't know what they are. If
that's
they did.
his most well known.
Exactly. So anyway, that's my number 3, man. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is going to be Jimi Hendrix. If 6 was 9.
If the sun refuses to shine.
It was released on Jimmy's Hendrix and Experiences album, Axis Bold as Love, on December 1st, 1967.
Now if a 6 turned out to be 9.
You know, Jimmy had actually released his debut album, Are You Experienced, at the beginning of 67, and he actually had already performed at the Monterey Pop Festival that year. But, this album, Axis, really saw Jimmy getting into some really trippy, psychedelic kind of territory. And, it was a great album. Lyrically, it's a cool song. He's really kind of giving a big, F you to
math. Because I'm already bad at math, so if 6 was 9, gee, that's like algebra to me.
you're screwed. But no, it was a big, F you, like I said, to like the establishment and stuff like that. He basically talks about, letting him do his own thing.
White collar conservative flashing down the street, pointing their plastic finger at me.
But really, it's one of his most unique and kind of groundbreaking songs. And at that time, that album, man, Jimmy was on a rocket to another planet. But yeah, I'm gonna go with If 6 Was 9. I love that song, and it's just it's really kind of crazy song, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I love it. Love it. Great pick. My number 2 is going to be, and I bet you picked, unpicked, and picked my brain again for this one, but it is Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. So Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, 666, Number of the Beast, was off of Iron Maiden's The first album with Bruce Dickinson came out in 1981, and the song is called Number of the Beast, and that's where you get the number 666. So that album and that song was a turning point for Iron Maiden at that time, and it went on to sell over 20 million albums, if you can believe that.
I didn't know it sold that well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I left alone. My mind was blank.
Of course, I'm older than Troy, and there was a movie, that people my age and a lot of people saw that came out in the 70s called The Omen. And I didn't really ever realize that there's, I wasn't fluent maybe head to toe with the Bible, but I did understand in that movie that they had this, 666 nomenclature that identified the devil.
Yeah, the number of the beast, yeah.
Number of the beast. And, there's a famous part in that movie where the guy's father's looking at the scalp and he can see these little, 666 on his skull. And it kind of freaked me out. That movie freaked me out. I mean,
I don't know if I've ever seen The Omen.
Oh my God, The Omen it's up there with Exorcist,
Yeah.
and it's definitely one of the scariest devil movies out there. But that was the first time that I'd ever heard about 666.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Steve Harris wrote that song because he saw The Omen Part 2. And he got inspiration from that movie to write, because he said that movie scared the crap out of him too.
It did.
So he got inspiration from The Omen Part 2 to write the song.
That was a scary ass movie too.
I need to go back and watch those movies. I don't think I've ever seen them.
For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
So at the beginning of that song, there's a blood-curdling scream by Bruce Dickinson. So the reason that's even there is because the producer, Martin Birch, he forced Bruce Dickinson to sing the first verse over and over and over. And Bruce Dickinson was so pissed off that he had to keep doing this over and over. When they started to record the vocals again, he let out that scream. And that's the scream you hear at the beginning of that song, because he was just pissed off.
All right.
And here's some other cool little facts about that song. The recording sessions were plagued by rumored supernatural occurrences, like lights turning on and off by themselves and equipment randomly exploding. The most famous incident involved producer Martin Birch, who got into a car accident on a Sunday night after leaving a recording session. When he received the repair bill for his Range Rover, the total came out to exactly 666 pounds. Birch,
what's that in dollars?
I don't know.
I would convert it to dollars.
Yeah, that's what he should have done. Terrified, Birch insisted on paying the garage $667 to break the curse.
All right.
Which I'd never heard that story before.
I hadn't heard either. Is that true, you think?
It's on the internet, man. It's got to be true.
Of course.
Anyway, that's my number 2, but I think what we need to do for number 1, beer break. All right, so we're back with a beer, and we're back for Dave's number 1 number song. So what's your number 1?
Number 1's going to be Chicago, 25 or 6 to 4.
25 or 6 to 4.
This classic song was released on Chicago's second album in 1969. In the realm of beginning guitar riffs, this one's got to be right up there with, Smoke on the Water and Iron Man. It actually peaked at number 4 on the Billboard charts, but it's one of the, classic Chicago songs that everybody knows, right? You know this song.
Oh yeah, of course.
25 or 6 to 4.
Guitarist Terry Kath peels off some of his most incredible playing of any Chicago song. Jimi Hendrix actually saw Chicago perform, I think it was in 68 at the Whiskey A Go-Go Club in LA. And he, after the show, he declared him as like the best guitarist in the universe. But there's this kind of semi-famous concert that Chicago played at, and I think it was 1970 at this Tanglewood in Massachusetts. And if you want to see what Jimmy was talking about, I mean, watch especially the 25 or 6 to 4 song at that concert, because it's out there and a lot of people have watched it, and you'll really see what Jimmy's talking about, because Terry Kath is this an amazing guitarist. That's going to be my numero uno, Troy.
That's a good number one. My number one
Isn't 25 or 60.
It's not 25 or 64. And what does 25 or 64 even mean?
It's not 25 or 624. It's 25 or 624. There's been some.
That doesn't help me.
Well, I mean,
I still don't know what it means.
I think the pianist in the band wrote the song, and there's been talk about what it really means. I think one of the things was he was at his watch and looking at his watch or whatever it means, but I don't really know, and I don't know if anybody really means.
Hey, does it even matter?
It doesn't matter, but it's just one of the most classic Chicago songs with some of the greatest riffs and musicianship, and I love it. That camera?
Yeah. I got to change batteries.
25 or 624.
Battery is changed. We're ready to go. And my number one is One
Which one?
by Three Dog Night.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
All right. I was hoping you wouldn't say Metallica. I knew you were going to say U2.
No, I didn't even think about Metallica. Damn, maybe I should have picked Metallica.
Well, no. Just Three Dog Night's a better one.
I'd love Three Dog Night.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
So it was released as their lead single on their debut album that came out in 1968 and became a massive hit and reached the number 5 spot on the Billboard charts.
I thought it went to number 1, of course.
Well, it didn't.
All right.
So it was actually written and recorded in 1968 by the legendary singer-songwriter Harry Nilsson.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
Oh, yeah. I love Harry Nilsson. He wrote it first. Did he write it?
He wrote it, and then Three Dog Night, I guess, covered it.
Two can be as bad as one. It's the loneliest number since the number.
And so Nilsson came up with the core concept while trying to make a phone call. He kept getting a busy signal. He began playing along to the rhythm of the busy signal on his piano, writing the opening lyric, "One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do." So Harry Nilsson's version was more somber. I don't think I've ever heard the Harry Nilsson song until right now.
Because one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
But when Three Dog Night covered it, I guess that same year, they totally transformed the song.
Yeah.
And it's Three Dog Night is one of those bands that, my earliest memories of music, because my mom had some records when I was a kid. She had like the Beatles. She had some Eagles stuff. She had the Loving Spoonful, which I talked about before. I love the Loving Spoonful. And she had a Three Dog Night. And I remember listening to that song as a kid, and I just fell in love with that song and that band.
Three Dog Night had so many hit songs.
Yeah.
And on this earlier episode, I talked about Hoyt Axton, he had written Joy to the World and Never Been to Spain. But Three Dog Night were like this money-making hit machine back in the
Late 60s.
and 70s.
Yeah.
You know, they were huge. But that one is always, you know, I thought about doing one, and I thought about doing that version or U2's version of one.
One, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other.
But I know Troy wouldn't dig it, so I left it off.
How does U2's version of one? Is it a cover? Is it a
No,
cover?
it's an original, and it's one of their biggest hits.
Yeah, I don't like U2.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, but no, the Three Dog Night version, I mean, it was one of those songs I remember from, you know, I probably wasn't but 7, 8, 9 years old at the time, but I had a radio, and we listened to AM radio, and
Yeah.
we heard all these songs, and it was a huge hit.
Yeah, I was probably, I mean, that by the time I heard that song, it had probably already been out about 10 years. And, but I remember hearing she had that, I don't know if she had a greatest hit album
Probably
or
was,
what,
yeah.
but it had, on one side, it had one, and you flip it over to the other side, it had Joy to the World, which was another great, you know, Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Was a good friend of mine.
I was like, oh my, that spoke to me, and I don't know why. It just sounded so good. My dad, back in the day, you remember them when they had those big console stereo systems? It was a big piece of wood, and you opened the lid. You
No,
remember
the
that?
one we had was about as wide as my little thing right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
It was like a Magnavox.
That's what my dad had too.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was like this big, about this tall, and you open the lid, and
and it had a tuner and it had a turntable in
Exactly.
there. You could listen to the
my
radio.
mom still has it. It's in storage behind her house.
All right.
It doesn't work anymore. The speakers have totally crapped out on it.
Probably not worth
But
it.
what was really cool, record players back then, you could stack records.
Exactly.
So you could stack like 4 or 5. I don't even know how many records.
Yeah.
And then when one record would get through playing, the thing would pop up, it would move over, and the next record would come down, and then it would move back over. It was all automatic. I don't know how they did it back in the day, but they freaking did it, and then it would start the next record.
Sure.
And I would stack records up, and I would just listen to that stuff. The Beatles, Three Dog Night, Eagles, all that good stuff, man. And that was the beginning of the explosion in my head to music, man, and I just loved it so much.
Yeah.
And it really got me, you know, appreciating music from a very early age. Like I was probably like
Yeah.
6 or 7 years old.
Well, you're lucky because my parents were into like Lawrence Welk.
There's nothing like a good polka to get things off on the right foot.
We didn't share any, you know, common love of music back in the day, but you know, my parents are older than yours, and they're from
Different time.
in the hinterland.
Yeah.
But you know, one is definitely a great song,
And it's a lonely number
it's the loneliest number.
that you'll ever
Do
know or do.
all
I'm not
right.
really sure. Anyway, hey, that's our top 3 number songs. Leave your picks below. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, get some merch down below, and we'll see you next time in the shed.
See you later, guys.
Adios.